Let's now test it in our version of Linux. Unfortunately, due to VirtualBox limitations, we'll not be able to test new games. The application doesn't provide 3D graphics acceleration powerful enough for video games emulation. Please note, however, that Wine isn't used only for games. It's a tool that allows you to run many different applications designed for Windows. In a moment, we'll see how to install Wine and how this tool works. For a test application, I've chosen a program that helps you go through an activity you need to do every year, namely filing a tax return. A very popular tool for filling in tax returns is the PIT application from the MG company, which thanks to Wine can be used under Linux as well. Wine has been created to allow users to run Windows applications on Linux. Most people use it to play games. However, with the help of this tool, you can open in Linux many other Windows programs. Using Wine, you can even run Photoshop, the Microsoft Office suite, or some versions of Internet Explorer, as well as many applications for which you won't find Linux equivalents. Now obviously, most Windows programs, such as Office suites, word processors, programming tools, or graphic software, have their Linux counterparts. However, in the case of games, the amount of potential effort needed to recreate the final product is, unfortunately, too much for a small team to undertake. That's why a solution allowing users to run such complex applications has been created. If you have a Windows application which is located in your Linux system, then double-clicking on it should automatically open the tool. In Wine, it's advisable to use the command line because it enables you to see what's going on during the installation process. Of course, installing Windows software on Linux is a complicated and complex process. This is only to be expected. After all, you're trying to install software designed and created for a totally different operating system. Linux's strength is in the fact that it can open Windows applications directly, that is, without emulators. Microsoft Windows doesn't offer a corresponding functionality. On the market, there are solutions that allow you to emulate Linux on Windows. However, such products don't originate from the Microsoft company and don't support every Linux application or component. For certainty, a specific Windows-friendly compilation of programs you'd like to run are needed. Conversely, Windows applications you want to open in Linux don't need to be modified in any way. The exe file, which will open in a while to install the application, is exactly the same file you'd use in Windows. The console is needed for monitoring the current status of the application. If the program crashes in the graphical environment, the error message that is subsequently displayed is unfortunately short. In the text mode, you get more feedback. The Wine tool can be started from the The Wine tool can be started from the text mode with the command wine, file name. As the parameter, you provide the exe file you'd like to open. From the level of your home directory, you can execute the command directly, in the way shown below. On the first launch, the application would have created the directory .wine, if it hadn't existed, and then it would start installing the software. In our case, this catalog already exists. It contains the file system and the directory structure reflecting the one used in Windows. Using MC, you can review this entire structure. The contents of the /drive_c directory are the exact replica of the C drive in Windows. Thanks to this, any application installed in this folder will treat it as the Windows C drive. It has basic commands built in. There's even an equivalent of the registry in the form of a set of libraries. Every basic Windows component is recreated in Wine. This tool even allows you to install additional libraries, For example, Visual C++ runtime execution libraries of the .NET environment, available with some applications. If you install a set of libraries or tools in Wine, all other applications will be able to use them as if they would in Windows. The installation process looks exactly like it does in Windows. The Wine tool will allow us to open this application directly. Even the default directories are interpreted in the same way as Windows. However, you need to be aware that in reality, all these operations take place on the /drive_c catalog, which is located in the directory Wine. Wine ensures that the actual catalog structure is transformed so that it meets the needs of a specific application. We can even create a group in the Start menu, desktop icons, and even set file associations. All of this will be well integrated with Linux and work properly. During the installation, it's recommended that you tick off the options Restart, Open the application. This is done in order to give Wine time to complete the installation. Then, it's best to run the application manually. As we've mentioned, the program is installed in the directory /drive_c. As you can see, everything has been installed as expected. The icon of the application will be added both to the pulpit and to the Start menu. In Linux, all applications installed through Wine can be accessed through the Wine submenu. In addition, you'll find there all configuration settings. All installed applications are available in the Programs directory, which resembles the structure of Windows. The general rule is, the simpler the application, the greater the chances it'll run properly. In the case of more complex software, you should check a list of supported applications available on the Wine HQ. This list will tell you whether the application will run properly under Linux right away, or whether you'll need to perform some additional operations to open it. Naturally, many apps won't have their Linux equivalents because of their small user base. For example, the application for filling in the Polish tax return forms. Then, you can use the Windows version. The application we have installed supports printing and allows you to create PDF files. In this case, all functionalities available in Windows are likewise available in Linux. As we've said, when you install an application using Wine, shortcut icons are created and it becomes available in the Start menu right away. However, it's not easy to uninstall it. Sometimes when you uninstall an application, you need to log out and log in again in order to refresh the Start menu. It's not really a troublesome issue, but you need to keep that in mind. If a folder in the Start menu doesn't disappear after uninstalling the application, it's better to log out and in again than to try to remove it manually. If you try to do it with some kind of editor, the system may not be able to create the folder again if you chose to reinstall the program. Moreover, you may even experience difficulties opening the application. This is a minor issue, but you need to be aware of this. You should remember to take the appropriate steps, but it shouldn't be annoying. Let's now assume the entry in the Start menu wasn't created. Either the application didn't create it, or you didn't want it to be created. How can you open an application if the shortcuts haven't been created? As we've mentioned, when you install a program using Wine, all files are copied to the /wine/drive_c directory. Thus, you can just enter this directory and open it using the command wine. Likewise, you can open an application in Wine from the graphical environment by opening the right folder and clicking on the exe file. If you install Wine from a repository, the system will automatically associate all Windows files with the application. Double-clicking on an icon of the Windows application will open it. The application can also be run with the wind command. You specify the path of the application just as you do in Windows, except that instead of a backslash, you use a double backslash. In Linux, it's a special character. You should also remember to put inverted commas to eliminate potentially unnecessary spaces. Wine will convert the path name to the one understandable by Linux, and the application will be opened. Ways of opening a program are many. Even some that are used in Windows systems will work equally well in Linux.